Hello friends, this is Rishi Gupta and today I'm here to talk about the nature of the relationship between two of the great characters from the show The Last Kingdom, which streams on Netflix, and the characters are Uhtred of Bebbanburg, or Uhtred the Godless, or Uhtred the Dane Slayer, or many other names that he's been called in the show. And the other character is Alfred, who's the king of Wessex. So guys, both of these characters are really well developed. I really admired and enjoyed both of these characters. So Alfred is the righteous king, not really righteous, probably righteous is the wrong word, but he is a king who wants to do right by a lot many people, by his own subjects, and he is trying to again, he's a sickly king. He's not physically very strong, he's not a great warrior, but he thinks he's extremely smart, and he is trying to plot and scheme his way into creating a united England where all of the kingdoms are united. And he is a great character to watch. He's so conflicted. He has God to answer to, he has his subjects to answer to, he has his own wife to answer to, and there is Uhtred. So Uhtred is again a mindless warrior. Probably mindless is being a bit too extreme, but yes, he's not very wise. He does not think about the consequences of his actions. He just does things he believes in. So he's kind of an unstoppable force, and Alfred is the immovable object, to quote The Dark Knight. So when these two people meet, there are a lot of interesting interactions that happen between these two people. So Alfred needs Uhtred. Without Uhtred, he cannot realize his dream. He cannot protect his subjects. He cannot win wars. And Uhtred, being the directionless warrior he is, kind of needs Alfred's guidance. Not guidance, probably is the wrong word, but his overlord, his oversight, so that he can be on the right path and not do something too rash. So both of them need each other, and both of them are unable to stand the other person. So Alfred is extremely conflicted. He knows that the value of Uhtred, that's why he does not have him executed, but he knows his value, but he is extremely annoyed and irritated with his behavior. He does not pay his respects to any god, wherein Alfred is trying to build a Christian kingdom. He does not follow any plan which he himself lays. Alfred, has for the war or anything. Uhtred has a mind of his own, and he'll do what pleases him. So that is something that irritates Alfred the most, because he is unable to rein in this warrior. Whatever he does, whatever threat he has, is not going to work on Uhtred. Uhtred, on his part, is extremely irritated with Alfred because he thinks that he is doing things that are not right, or are not being done the right way, and he believes that his path or his plan is better than anything or everything that Alfred is thinking. So he is extremely irritated with him, and about his plans, about his alliances, about his whatever, So both of these people can't stand each other, but there is a very strained piece wherein both of them find use, and more often than not, Alfred finds use for Uhtred. I think it's safe to say that Uhtred was of more use to Alfred than vice versa. So again, and I did feel that Alfred treated Uhtred unfairly. I think he was solely responsible for all the victories that Alfred had on the battle, and all the kingdoms that he owned, all the alliances that he had, were because of Uhtred. He should probably have been made a lord or a king of some kingdom, or some province or whatever, but he did not do that just because of his insolence, of Uhtred's insolence. He did not bow down to him. He did not pay respects to Alfred, and that's why he did not treat Uhtred that well. So I think that was Alfred's mistake. And Uhtred's mistake was being too rude, being too what can I say? Being just too disrespectful to Alfred. He could definitely have been a bit more respectful and not insulting to Alfred, which he was at many points in time. So both had their own flaws, but ultimately there was a strained peace between these two characters, and they found use for one another. And what I really enjoyed in this dynamics between these two characters was the last meeting between the two characters, wherein they sat face to face, man to man, and discussed their regrets and what they felt about each other. It was almost a romantic scene. The last scene where Alfred was dying, and a dying man was confessing his regrets, his what he was thankful for from Uhtred, and all of that. And Uhtred kind of confessed that he really admired him and all of that stuff. And they were discussing that both of them could not kill the other. One could not kill the other because they were destined to work together, and they would not have dared kill the other person. So I really enjoyed, and the last scene between these two characters really touched me. And that's when I realized how deeply involved I was in this relationship between those two characters. And Alfred dying was really painful. I really felt for the character. He did a great job. Even though he was a sickly king, he was a weak king, but he did what he had to because he thought from his, ear. I don't know what the dialogue was, that I think he was able to think his way to creating his kingdom. So guys, a great pair of characters and a great interaction between these two characters. I really enjoyed it, and I think you would also if you watched it. So guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, share, like, and we'll be talking about a lot more in the future. Thank you so much.